Hi everyone, I am Junhil Roma, and today's video I will be going to do some reflections about what is Marpol, and that includes the Annex 1 to 4. So before we going to proceed to the Annex, I will be discussing also the what is Marpol. So let's start. So Marpol, or which we call the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollutions from Ships, in 1973, as modified by the Protocol of 1978, is one of the most important international marine environment conventions. So what is MARPOL stand for? The International Conventions for the Prevention of Pollutions from Ships, or MARPOL in short, is the main international conventions covering preventions of pollutions of the marine environment by ships from operational or accidental causes. So that is the MARPOL. So let's proceed to the Annex 1 to 4. So the Annex 1, it says that it is the regulations for the prevention of pollution by oil. The Annex 2, the regulations for the control of pollutions by noxious liquid substances. Annex 3, regulations for the prevention of pollution by harmful substance carried by sea in package form. And lastly, the Annex 4, regulations for the prevention of pollution by sewage from ships. So the MARPOL Annex 1, which is the regulation of for the prevention of pollution by oil, it means that the MARPOL Annex 1 is the first implementations made by MARPOL 73-78, one of the most important international marine environmental conventions. The convention was designed to minimize pollution of the seas from ships. What is the meaning of Annex 1? The affirmed object of MARPOL Annex 1, which entered into force on 2nd October 1983, is to protect the marine environment through the complete eliminations of pollution by oil and other damaging elements, and to lessen the chances of accidental discharge of any such elements. So the second is the Annex 2, which is the regulation for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substance, which means that regulations for the control of pollutions by noxious liquid substance in bulk. So this is suit for the bulk carrier. The main principle of Annex 2 is to dilute cargo residues in seawater to prescribe limits depending on their pollution hazard and facilitate the distribution of discharge by utilizing the weight of the ship. The third is the Annex 3, which is the regulation for the prevention of pollution by harmful substance carried by sea in package form, which means that 1992 contains requirements for safe handling of packaged substance that represent a serious risk to the environment, as well as guidelines for identification of harmful substance. So Annex 3 requires standards on packaging, marking, labeling, documentation, storage, quantity limitations, exceptions, and notifications preventing or minimizing pollutions by harmful substance. And lastly is the Annex 4, which is regulation for the prevention of pollution by sewage from ships, which means that it contains a set of regulations regarding the discharge of sewage into the sea from ships, including regulations regarding the ship's equipment and system for the control of sewage discharge, the prevention of port reception facilities for sewage, and requirements for survey and certification. So that's it, the MARPOL, and that includes the Annex 1 to 4. So MARPOL is an important marine convention that deals with marine pollution. One of the problems with marine pollution is that vast areas of the oceans are not under control of any one country. Annex 1 for the prevention of pollution by oil covers areas such as oil spills, double hulls made mandatory for oil tankers. Every annex are important. And as a sphere, it is good to know that we know the marple because it helps us to be improved, to be responsible of what we do. So that is the marple. And also remember that marine environment is also our resources for daily needs because without this, I think it will be hard for us to live, right? So especially in transportation of goods and etc. So that's it. I hope you learn something from me and I hope you understand. Thank you.